Hi, I'm Tom. I don't know why I'm making this video exactly, but something I have to get out because I just have been watching some developments over 40 plus years, and for whatever reason, it seems to be. Sorry for the up and down here. It's just gotten to a point where I've got to get it out. I'm just so done with listening to the crap and watching what's going on and seeing the absolute denial, ignorance, whatever of my fellow Americans, and worst of all, I hate to use the word mainstream media, but truth is, they're just not doing their job. And this goes back to, for you younger guys, the Vietnam War. When I was 18, I left the United States and I went traveling around with a knapsack and a sleeping bag, and got odd jobs here and there. I wanted to see the world. I was very disturbed by the assassination of John F. Kennedy. And I wanted to see what's really going on out there, and I spent time in Germany, and I remember when I was living there and I was actually working for the military in the commissary, at night I would go to a bar where these old guys in their mid-20s were coming back from Vietnam, and over beers we'd sit and talk about stuff and so on and so forth. And make a long story short, even at 18, which my age was at that time, I was a licensed pilot. I had already well over 100 hours, and my dad was a pilot, and we had a plane when I was a young man, and I got a chance to fly learned to fly when I was 14 years old, and got my license at 17 or 16 for sailplanes and 17 for motor planes, but for single engine land. And then for some reason, I got hit up by this recruiter and the commissary who said, well, hey, you've got all this flight experience. If you join the military, hey, we could make you a warrant officer right now, and you go to Nam, fly helicopters, and you come out and be able to do whatever you want. And I thought, oh, that's great. So I go to the bar, talk to my buddies, and say, hey, look at this. They wanna induct me into the military and make me a warrant officer. I'm gonna fly choppers in Vietnam, and I'm gonna blah blah blah. I'm gonna fight communism, etc., etc. And these guys, these old guys in their mid-20s, they grab me and say, "You frickin' idiot! What are you doing? Do you know what's going on in Vietnam?" And I was like, wake up. and they set me straight. These guys saved my life, probably. They told me that the bullshit that was going on in Vietnam was just beyond belief. And so I didn't join. In fact, I ended up getting out of the draft, and because I was drafted later on, but that's a long story, and I don't want to get into that right here and now. But the main point of this video is that Jesus Christ, God knows for how long, but as long as I've been an adult, we get lied to by our government, our political leaders. I don't care if they are conservative or they're liberal. They don't give a flying F about us. Believe me, if it's conservatives or if it's liberals, they really, really, really don't care. I don't know how to get this across to you. They truly don't care. They don't. I'm sorry. I don't want to burst your bubble, but they just don't care. And here I am 40 some odd years later, and I've just had it. I've just absolutely had it. I don't know why I didn't let this go sooner, but here it is. Let me start with, because I mean I can't make this video too long, so let me just start with 9/11. When the Trade Towers went down, and I don't want to get into the conspiracy theories, etc., etc., I just want to say that I'm totally in agreement that the official version is bullshit. The conspiracy theories have a lot of holes in them. They ask good questions, and so that should be thoroughly investigated. The investigation that went on there is just nonsense, okay? So let me just pass right on by that. It's, there's just so many things. I don't even know where to begin. But I want to start with, in depth, with the first responders, because the point of this video is to prove to you that our political leaders do not care. They don't care about you. They don't care about me. They care about publicity. They care about their power. They care about being reelected. That's what they care about. Yes, that's it. That's it. That's it. If they are left or if they are liberal, they use that strategy to get you to elect them. If you are conservative or right-wing, that's the strategy they choose to get you to vote for them, elect them. Okay, that's what they care about. I'm sorry, I don't want to burst your bubble, but it's the truth. So, and I'm going to just conceptually, I'm not going to get into the absolute details. I'm terrible at details, sorry. But I watched after 9/11, and if you recalled, we had the so-called first responders that risked their lives to get into 9/11 and to try to find people that may still be alive in the rubble and pull them out before it's too late, etc., etc. They were told it was safe. They were told it was okay. This is during the Bush administration, so for those of you on the left, you're going to love this. But for those of you on the right, hang on. I've got some good stuff for you, because I know how you are. If you're liberal, you're going to want to hear conservative bashing. And if you're on the right, you're going to want to hear left-wing bashing. Truth is, they both need to be bashed. So anyway, the first responders go in there. It turns out that there's gases, horrible stuff, and they all get sick. Well, not all, but I mean terrible stuff. So they petitioned the Bush government for help. Not for some kind of cash in their hands, but medical support. Pay their medical bills because of the lung diseases that they've now acquired because of their responding to the accident. They were ignored. Completely ignored. Why? Because the media ignored it. If the media had made a big deal about it, Bush would have been down there and he would have been, yeah, we're going to support our first responders. These are true Americans. They're patriots. We're going to give them help. But the media didn't go down there and make their case. So, what's in it for Bush? Not a frickin' thing. Come on. Let's get real here. What counts is what the media covers and what you, Mr. and Mrs. America, watch. So, during the Obama administration, I don't have the details, but there was some media coverage, and there was a little bit done to help them out, but then it was kind of like retracted, and, it's just so disgusting. I mean, it's psychopathic behavior. It's just, they don't have any empathy. They have no compassion for you So what's really ticked me off now is before the Bush, or sorry, before the Romney, Obama campaign here, the election for 2012, is Benghazi. There's a lot of questions about Benghazi. And it's time for us as Americans to say, you know what? You know, let's use an analogy of a football team or you know, whatever. You know, you may be for this team or that team, and so when one team, you know, fouls or the other team, you know, you're incredibly biased for one or the other. You need to stop that. It's okay with sports, but it's not okay in the political arena. You need to keep them all. You need to hold them to the truth. You need to hold them accountable, whoever they are. You know, I remember the Watergate scandal with Nixon, and that was one of the proudest moments as an American, because there we had, we, America, were holding our president accountable for things that we felt did not stand up to our values, and said, enough is enough. You're not leveling with us. You've done something illegal. You've done something against the democratic process, and we're going to investigate this. It was great. We held our dirty laundry out for the whole world to watch. Rightfully so. Rightfully so. It was great. Fast forward to the Iraq War, where Bush and Cheney made an argument for the fact that Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction, you know, and I looked into it. I really did. And unfortunately, I'm terrible at names and details, but I do recall there was a very, no, I shouldn't say very, but a well-known investigative journalist who had uncovered credible evidence that Cheney and Bush not only knew that Saddam Hussein did not have weapons of mass destruction, but they also fabricated, you know, evidence that they had weapons of mass destruction. It was never really investigated, and it should have been. I think the excuse was from whoever, the leader of the Senate or whoever it was, I don't know, said it was not good for America. We've got terrorism to deal with, etc. We don't want to get involved in a scandal of that proportions and stuff. Sorry about that. And so let's just kind of let it ride. Please. Well, it took a while. You know, I didn't find out about that until years after the war, and that's probably why I didn't lose it back then. But now I'm losing it because it's happening in real time, and I'm talking about Benghazi. And I don't know exactly what's going on there, but I hear all these reports. And the thing that really bothers me is that it's not being covered. Now, what is being covered is the fact that, or the accusation that Obama knew it was a terrorist attack and tried to blame it on the video initially and all that stuff. And that's not good, of course. That's not good at all. But what really, really infuriates is I hear these reports, and I don't know how I got to it because I don't watch mainstream media so often. But Fox News has been reporting the fact, or not fact, but they've been reporting that the Ambassador Stevens had asked for help, and was denied, and that Tyron Woods, I think his name is, or Tyron, I don't know. Again, I'm not great on facts, details, I should say. But they're reporting that they had these SEALs that were like a mile away had asked 3 times, "Let us go. We can do something." And 3 times they were denied. By who? CIA? State Department? White House? Who? Okay. All right. So let's say the reports have some validity. I've seen reports on this from the AP, the Associated Press, but virtually nobody else on the mainstream media. And so on alternative media sites, I see it. But let's say the reports are propaganda. Let's say they're bogus. Let's say they're politically motivated. Let's say they're to try to make Obama look bad and help Romney's candidacy. If that's the case, then why doesn't CNN, MSNBC, CNN, why don't they debunk it? Why don't they get out and say it's BS? But there's nothing from them. Their silence is deafening. It's deafening. We just can't. This kind of thing has been going on probably since the beginning of mankind. I don't know. This, propaganda, BS, whatever. But I think humanity is at a point where we just can't afford this anymore, and especially in the United States, where our democracy, our republic, is really, really, really dependent on free media, free reporting, objective reporting. If we lose that, and I think we have, I'm not stupid. I'm aware that the networks are owned by a handful of corporations which have interests and have incredible influence on our governmental policies, etc., etc. I'm very much awake and aware. But let me tell you, I want to say something to you young guys, especially. If you don't wake up, and you're probably not going to, because my video is probably not going to get more than 100 views or so. But if you don't wake up, in a few years from now, mark my words, in a few years from now, I've had a couple glasses of wine, I'm so pissed. A few years from now, you're going to be getting a letter in the mail. Listen to me, guys. I've been there. You're going to be getting a letter in the mail. It's going to be saying, "Congratulations, Uncle Sam needs your support. You're going to have to take a gun and get a uniform, and you're going to have to go out and fight for liberty." But that's not what you're going to be fighting for. You're going to be fighting for the special interests because you're an idiot, because you're asleep, and it may cost you your life. It may cost you your life. Fortunately for me, a handful of young guys in their mid-20s in a bar probably saved my life, because they woke me up. They woke me up to the reality of what's going on, and it has gotten so much worse than it was back then. So, my recommendation to you is to change your citizenship or pass this video on to your buddies, because you're going to be toting a weapon and you're going to be wearing a uniform and you're going to be out there fighting one of our energy wars. Trust me. It's not funny. I'm laughing, but it's not funny. And I think about people, men, women, who have gotten caught up in this, the different wars that we've had over the last 30, 40 years, and I grieve about that. I'm trying. Maybe one person will wake up with this video and do something. Maybe. And if that's so, then the time I've spent doing this was worth it.